Hi there. Welcome to this short presentation video about PiObsidanmd, a Python library designed to help you modify your Obsidian notes in batch. So let's imagine you have a bunch of notes about books and movies, and at first you started putting your metadata in the front matter format, but then, a couple of days or weeks passed and you decided to use the data view format here with a double colon key, double colon value. And then of course, on some nodes you got funky, you got part of it in front matter, part of it in inline format, sometimes at the top of your node, sometimes at the bottom of it, and now it has become a mess. And so how can you put back some order in this metadata without, spending hours or days going through all your notes every time you change your mind? And we all know you're going to change your mind. And it's normal. We should be able to experiment with the way we organize our metadata in our knowledge base. So let's say we decide to put all our metadata in data view format at the top of our nodes. Let's see how we can do that using PiObsidanmd. So I can install PiObsidanmd using pip, like this, and then do a bunch of imports. And then I'm going to create a variable that points towards my vault example, and more specifically, the media folder. Okay, I can now create this notes object that's going to contain all the information about all the notes that are in the media folder. And I can now modify and batch the metadata of all these notes by using this move method. So I'm going to put k equal none to move everything. If you just wanted to move a specific metadata field, you could specify it here, but we want to move everything from the front matter to inline. So I'm going to say from metadata front matter to metadata inline. There you go. Once I've done this, I can update the content of my notes and specify how I want to update the inline metadata. So I want to move my metadata around. By default, the inline metadata is not moved around, so it doesn't mess up your files. So you have to specify false here. And then I'm going to specify that I want to put my inline metadata on the top of my notes. There you go. So now if we go back to the vault, nothing has happened yet, because what we actually need to do is to call the write function to write the changes to the notes. And there you go. You have all the metadata in inline format at the top of your note. So what you can do too is hide all this inline metadata inside a callout to make it look nicer. So in update content, we're going to add this argument inline template and add callout and launch. And then once that's done, we're going to write again. So now when we go back to our notes, we have all this metadata that is put in the callout, and it makes it look a lot cleaner, I think. The last thing I want to do is, instead of having the type of the note as a tag, I want to add a special type metadata field and link to a note. So for example, for all my books, I want to create this new note. I'm going to call it books. And ideally, I want to do this for all my notes. Type 2.2 books. And so I'm able that way to link to this. And using some data view magic, I can then list all the books from within this node. So we're going to take back our notes object. We're going to filter this time to select only the objects that have the tag type book. Okay, so tags is the name of the field The value we're looking for is type book, and it's located in the inline metadata now. We're going to recreate this object to make sure we have the latest version. We're going to filter this way. Okay. So now if I do notes.notes, I have only the books here. So what I'm going to do is add a metadata field. We're going to call it type. The value is going to be book. And we're going to add it in the inline metadata. We're also going to remove from the tags metadata the value type book. Inline. So once I do this, as usual, I have to update the content. False. Inline position is going to be top and inside a callouts. And I'm going to write. So now when I go back to my vault, I can check that I've added this metadata field type, and I've removed the tag type book. And I've done that for all my books. There and there. And of course, the movies have not been affected because we've filtered them out. These are some of the things you can do with PiObsidianmd. Of course, you can create your own workflows and modify your metadata the way you want. The library has certainly saved me a lot of time, just making sure I can organize my metadata the way I want for all my notes without having to do it manually. And I also feel it has freed me to experiment with different ways of handling my metadata. So I really hope it can be as useful for you as it has been for me. If you have any questions about the library, please feel free to drop a comment below or check out the GitHub repository. You can open an issue or ask your question in the discussion section. Cheers!